we're good.
Okay, cool.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to invite everyone to find your chair. Find your chair with your name on it. If you're joining us here in person, as you're finding your seat, Gina's going to come around and share our Siddur handout with you. And you'll see that the very first piece on that handout is a song most appropriate for today, indeed. Hine ma tov, how good and how pleasant it is to be together. I'll add one word to that. At last. At last we are together as we celebrate Simon becoming a bar mitzvah this morning. Hine ma tov. Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad Hine Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad.
Indeed, it is very good, very pleasant that we are able to gather together, as Cantor said, at last, to celebrate not just Shabbat, but to celebrate as Simon Appel becomes a bar mitzvah within our community. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, that feels so good to hear it coming back. For those folks who are joining us online, Shabbat Shalom to you as well. And I'm sure you are sharing a hearty Shabbat Shalom back with all of us that we feel here in this space. For those who I haven't met yet, my name is Rabbi Jill Perlman.
And I'm Cantor Lee Korn, and Daniel Lockhart accompanies us on the piano.
So some friendly reminders as we prepare to get started. If you are joining us here in person, I want to invite you to turn off or silence your cell phone. If you're at home, this might be a good thing to do as well so that you can be fully present in this space. For those who are gathering with us here again in person, please wear your masks throughout the entirety of our service. If you need to use the facilities, they are just down that hall right here. And if you're at home or right here, we invite you to sing with joy, for this indeed is a joyous occasion. So let us begin. The very first thing that we are going to do this morning is to invite up Simon, along with your parents, with Jeremy and Julie, so that they can present you with your talit, with a prayer shawl that is going to mark this moment and invite you indeed into your leadership within the Jewish community.
Simon, you made it. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I'm usually loud as it is, but we've had to schedule this bar mitzvah so many times. And in this time period, you've grown 6 inches. You started to shave. You might even be drinking some beers now, but no. But we're finally here. You worked so hard for 2 years to get here. And we're so fortunate that we're surrounded here by our family, our friends, our cousins, and all of your friends. Your Torah portion, Kirushim, is absolutely perfect for you. Love your neighbor as yourself, and you always have. When you were 4 years old, we were coming out of Target and you saw a homeless family in front of the store and you asked if we could give them some of the food that we just bought. Every year since we moved here, you've participated in winter nights at Temple Isaiah, making food for homeless families in our community. You care so much about those who aren't as fortunate as you are. You've been a fabulous volunteer at White Pony, sorting and distributing food to those who are food insecure in Contra Costa County. And I loved watching how kind and helpful you were to Grandma over the past couple of years. She was so proud of you and loved you more than you can imagine. And I'm so happy that you had the opportunity to develop such a close, strong, and special relationship with her. Simon, you have a great sense of humor, and you're always trying to work it and stretch the rules. Sorry, everybody. One time, after eating a bunch of junk food, you asked for something else to eat. I said you could have some fruit. You said, and that includes Fruity Pebbles? Once you tried convincing me that Zan was a word in Scrabble. You said, come on, Mom, Zan, like Xanax. Earlier in the school year, you asked if you could watch the NBA playoffs during your PE class on Zoom. You said, Mom, it's sports. And a few weeks ago, you asked if I would have Chipotle DoorDashed for you. I said, no, I will not have Chipotle DoorDashed for you. 30 minutes later, DoorDash with Chipotle showed up at our front door. I asked you what this was all about. You said, Mom, you told me that you wouldn't DoorDash Chipotle for me. So I called Berge and Berge DoorDashed Chipotle. You're very creative. You're a great negotiator and a great debater. Who knows, you may end up being an amazing lawyer someday like your grandpa. Simon, you bring enthusiasm and determination to everything you do. Whether you're catching a wave on your surfboard, dribbling that soccer ball down the field, skiing that last trail of the day, or playing Xbox with your friends, you always exude passion for the things and people that are important to you. And one thing's for sure, you do not stop until you are heard and get exactly what you want. There's no doubt in my mind that you will be successful in whatever you do during your life. And finally, you are an incredible brother and son. Your relationship with your brother is beautiful. It's so wonderful as your mom to see the love and affection you have for each other. But it's not so amazing watching you guys taunt each other and beat each other up pretty much every day. You and Zach share so much, your love for soccer, lacrosse, skiing, surfing, watching sports, and reciting every single sports statistic, just like your grandma. And it's so clear that you are each other's biggest fan. As I witnessed last Saturday at Zach's lacrosse game, when you were the loudest one cheering for him with your classic, "Let's go!" And after the game ended, he made sure to introduce you and Eitan to the Akalani's lacrosse coach. Simon, I feel so lucky to have you as my son. And as you know, because I tell you every day, I love you a lot. And I'm so, so proud of you, not only today, but every day.
Well, Simon, like Mom said, you made it. You got here. You have reached your bar mitzvah. Your day has finally come. I'm not just talking about the date reaching today on the calendar, right? I'm not just talking about how, well, we rescheduled that date at least twice. I'm not just talking about how you became 13 years old, well, and then 14, And I don't just mean learning to read Hebrew, showing up here at Temple Isaiah, to chant Torah, stepping up to the Bima, although I do applaud each of those accomplishments and admire you every time you stand up, show up, and deliver. No, becoming a bar mitzvah is much more profound than that. Every day, I see your development as a young man and as a member of our broader community. Your increasing independence, responsibility, and maturity shine in ways big and small. Owning your academic performance, which is very strong, announcing when you turn off the oven, which is great practice, researching the best surf break and correcting me when I pick the wrong one, volunteering for charitable food distribution. These are only a few examples, and there are many every day. You might recall this recent example. After a year by Zoom, school was about to start in hybrid mode. Mom was really anxious about downloading the app and setting it up, the health screening app for school, because a Facebook conversation indicated how confusing that was. So as quickly as Mom turned to me to take care of the tech, I turned to you. And I said, Simon, why don't you set this up on your phone? He said, Dad, that's for the parents to use. Pushback. I suggested download it anyway so you can do your own daily health screenings. Do it tonight so we won't have any last minute issues. But you challenged me again. Why tonight, Dad? School doesn't start for a few days. I'll take care of it, but right now I'm playing a video game with my friends. And I offered, well, since you'll use the app every morning before school, let me make sure you know how it works. You answered, come on, Dad, I've got this. I couldn't help but notice my teenage son resisting my parental directives. Such chutzpah, I could have said. I mean, pushing back on this. And it wasn't just that you weren't listening, you were doing your own thing. Resisting me, I thought. Well, but then I thought about it a little bit further. And secretly, I loved your responses because they showed me that something I had seen coming for a long time, that you've got the maturity, the responsibility, the accountability to take on these responsibilities. I know you can handle your own business your own way, even when it is complex and has serious implications for you, our family, and those around us. And I know you don't really ignore my input, even if you downplay it. I see you take my input into account when making your own decisions and taking your own actions. If you think setting up an app and using it routinely is no big deal, you're right, it's not. But what is a big deal is how often and how well you exercise your ever-expanding confidence and competence, accountability and autonomy. Not only are you doing the right things, you're doing the things right for yourself and for others. And it's just like you told me, you've got this. And I know you do. As you continue in life, the range of responsibilities that you'll take on will be ever expanding. It won't just be the dishes, the laundry, and the trash. Many responsibilities will be complex, many will be serious, and many will be a big deal. But I know you've got those too. You've often heard me say that among the most important jobs as parents for us is to raise you to be an independent, contributing member of society, responsible for yourself and accountable to others. Well, while a parent's job is never done, I could not be happier with how things are coming along. And I could not be more proud of you. I love you like crazy, more and more every day.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chutatech b'tzitzit.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Amen, which translates to, Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of this universe. Thank you for giving us life, sustaining us, and allowing us to reach this sacred moment. For those folks who've just come in, I believe there are some more seats right on over here. Welcome, welcome, and Shabbat Shalom to all. And so now I'm going to invite us to turn to our prayer sheets. We are at the prayer in the middle of the page, Kaddish, which Simon will lead us in.
Yikra v'yikra shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrachute ve'amlich malchute, v'chaychon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shemei Rabba mevorach, le'olam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar vitale vitalal shemere kudesha b'richu le'la min kol birchata v'shirata tishbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'yimeru. Amen.
Let us rise in body and spirit for the words of Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
And now for those of us who are wearing talitot, I want to invite you to grab these four corners right here. In these four corners are our seats. And we are taught in our tradition that the ways in which we can count the number of strings and the ways that it is knotted equals up to our 613 mitzvot, or our 613 commandments in our tradition, reminding us as we prepare to say the words of Shema that faith alone is not enough. It needs to be accompanied by the actions of our hands. It's our heart as well as our hands and what we do in the world. Let us prepare now to share words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Vaed.
Let us be seated as we continue the Shema with words of Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayam al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha v'derech U'shokbecha uvekumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot ben einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha, leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yetem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeet yetem me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem lelokim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem.
Beautiful. We turn the page to the words of Micha Mocha. This is the prayer that our people sang as we marched forth towards freedom from Egypt towards the promised land. Indeed, we think of the same as we sing these words now, the various ways where we are moving from that which holds us down to that which lifts us up. It too reminds us of the various transitions we go through in life, such as becoming a bar mitzvah.
חדשה שבחוג העולים, לשמך שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדחנו ממך יהודה וישראל. אוהלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Our Amidah connects us to our ancestors. It connects us to God's strength and to God's holiness as well. As we share these prayers, we'll begin by sharing them together communally, and then there will be time for each of us to find the prayers in each one of our hearts. Please rise as you are able.
Simon, please. We can't hear you.
Okay. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi techilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, umevi gula livnei bneihem, lemon shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham v'etzrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, mehaye hakol atah, rav leoshia, morid ha'atah, mechokel chayim bechesed, Mehaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofech olim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, melach memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'emar natalacha chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mehaye hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמעתי שמעו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu vehu Yashmienu, berachamav le'enei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohecha, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Tzion, ledor vador. Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid gorlecha, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושיבך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Let us now be seated as we take a few moments for our own personal prayer.
Shalom, Bimroma, Ose Shalom, Bimroma, Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom, Huyase, Huyase, Huyase Shalom. Huyase, huyase, huyase shalom. Elenu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Huyase, huyase, huyase shalom. Huyase, huyase, huyase shalom. Huyase, huyase, huyase shalom. Elenu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down, bring peace down. We arrive now at really the pinnacle of our service, our Torah service, the moment that we will take our Torah scroll, our holiest teaching from the Ark. Eventually, it will land in Simon's arms, but not only will he hold Torah, he will chant Torah, he will convey Torah, he will teach Torah, and he will even share with us how Torah has influenced his actions in bringing goodness into our world. But first, we begin with a ritual of passing the Torah through the generations of Simon's family. So for the ritual of passing the Torah, I call on Rena and David Appel, Louis and Pat Rabinovitz, Julie, Zach, and Jeremy to pass the Torah to Simon. Zach, I'm going to invite you to move closer to the ark so we have plenty of room for everyone to line up. And for your grandparents to even draw closer to you. Perfect. Simon, you know, in just a moment, we are going to place this Torah scroll into your arms. And it kind of takes that adage, we are putting the future in your hands, quite literally. We are passing the Torah through these generations until it lands in your arms, because of course it is not coincidence that Torah landed here today. For generations, even beyond where your grandparents are standing, if you could imagine that line going beyond, 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 so many people had you in their mind. All of those generations imagine that Torah would arrive here today. And indeed it has. And now we put this Torah in your arms, and you know, because we've practiced, you've held the Torah. It's a little bit heavy, but so is the responsibility we're giving. And it's part of why we give you a voice in all of this, that opportunity to teach Torah, to interpret Torah, to tell us what this means to you. Because we're not just saying, do this. We're saying, own it. Take it for yourself. Teach it and carry it with you, not just today, but everywhere you go. And interpret Torah so that you can continue, as your mom talked so beautifully about, all of the work that you have done to make this world a better place. And so we pass it through these generations. We even remember your grandmother today. Her tablecloth is here on this table as a way of bringing her presence into our midst today as we celebrate this amazing occasion. So for all of those generations that come before you, we are incredibly proud, but we have great expectations that you will take this Torah and this moment and carry it forward to ensure that Torah stays alive for generations to come. Zach, I'm going to invite you to open the ark and take the Torah out. And Zach is going to help us as we pass it through the generations, Lador Vador, from generation to generation. We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. Ledor vador nagid god lecha. Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation. Ledor vador these lips will praise your name. And now, Simon, with the scroll in your arms, we invite you to sing the Shema in the Torah service.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
I'll invite now your grandparents to return to their seats. And I'll invite your brother and your parents to help you prepare the table and the Torah for our Torah reading. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu והשתחוו להר קודשו, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו. I'll invite your family to return to their seats, and I'll invite you to open the Torah and prepare for the reading.
And as Simon does just that, I want to introduce what it is that he will be sharing today. We get the great blessing, a double blessing this week, because we have 2 Torah portions. It doesn't happen every single year. Sometimes each Torah portion stands on its own, but this year we get the blessing of somewhat of a Hebrew leap year. And so we get 2 Torah portions put together. We have the Torah portion known as Achrei Mot, and that's a Torah portion that details, among other things, some of the ancient rituals around Yom Kippur, and it helps us pay attention to time. And then we get the portion known as Kirushim, which means holiness. And it's often thought of as the beginning of what our people call the holiness code. And it helps us with different mitzvot that help us act in the world around holiness. And so what Simon is going to do is he's going to share for us a bit of Achrei Mot from Leviticus 16:1 and following.
For the first Aliyah, we call on Simon's grandfather, Louis Rabinovitz, Simon's aunt and uncle, Amy and Rob Gutman, and cousins, Abby and Max Gutman. Yamdu Eleazar ben Binyamin v'Sara v'Rezel bat Eliezer tzumi Masha, Baruch Chaim ben Yisrael v'Leah Chana, Leah bat Baruch Chaim v'Rezel v'Tzvi ben Baruch Chaim v'Rezel la'aliyah la Torah. And we'll invite you to stand to Simon's left, and you'll find there the blessing. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Vahed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher batar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe acharei mot shnei bnei Aharon b'korvatam lifnei Adonai vayamutu. Vayamer Adonai el Moshe daber el Aharon achicha ve'al yavo v'cholit el hakodesh mibeit la parochet el panei hakaporet asher al ha'aron v'lo yamut ki be'anan era'eh al hakaporet. Bezot yavo Aharon el hakodesh befar ben bakar lachatat ve'ayil le'olah.
And now a translation of that text. God spoke to Moses after the death of the 2 sons of Aaron, who died when they drew too close to the presence of the Eternal. God said to Moses, "Tell your brother Aaron that he is not to come at will into the shrine behind the curtain, in front of the cover that is upon the ark, lest he die. For I appear in the cloud over the cover. Thus only shall Aaron enter the shrine with a bull of the herd for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering."
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'chotenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach, thank you. For the next Aliyah, we call up Simon's grandparents, Rena and David Appel, Simon's cousin, Darren Matusin, and Simon's aunt and uncle and cousins, Elliot, Tamar, Nate, Sam, and Abe Frolickstein Appel. Yamdu Rina bat Shlomo v'Chana v'David ben Eliyahu v'Chana v'Moshe Yehuda ben Arman v'Eliyahu ben David Urina v'Tamar bat Sarah v'Aviam v'Natanel ben Eliyahu v'Tamar v'Shmuel ben Eliyahu v'Tamar v'Avraham ben Eliyahu v'Tamar la'aliyah la Torah. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chayvanu mikol ha'olam v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ketoret bad kodesh yilbash umichnesei vad yihu al besaro uvavnet bad yachgor uvmitznefet bad yitznof bigdei kodeshim verachat b'mayim et besaro uvesham umeet adat b'nei Yisrael yikach Shnei seirei izim lachatat ve'ayil echad le'olah v'hikriv aharon et par hachatat asher lo v'hiper ba'ado uv'ad beito.
In a translation of this text, which is a continuation of these ancient Yom Kippur rituals, he shall be dressed in a sacred linen tunic with linen breeches next to his flesh and be girt with a linen sash, and he shall wear a linen turban. They are sacred vestments. He shall bathe his body in water and then put them on. And from the Israelite community, he shall take 2 goats for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. Aaron is to offer his own bull of sin offering to make expiation for himself and for his household.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'Eloheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
That's all right, I got it. Thank you.
And for the next Aliyah, we call up Simon's parents, Julie and Jeremy, and Simon's brother Zach. Yamdu Malka bat Eliezer v'Tami Masha v'Yirmiyahu ben David Urina v'Zechariah ben Yirmiyahu v'Malka la'aliyah la Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Velakach et shenei haseirim v'hemid otam lifnei Adonai petach ohel moed v'natan aharon al shenei haseirim goralot goral echad la Adonai v'goral echad la Azazel. V'hikriv aharon et hasair asher Allah alav hagaral la'adonai ve'asahu chatan v'hasair asher Allah alav hagaral lazazel yomar chai lifnei Adonai lechaper alav l'shalach oto la'azazel hamibara.
Aaron shall take the 2 goats and let them stand before God at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And he shall place lots upon the 2 goats, one marked for the eternal and the other marked for Azazel. Aaron shall bring forward the goat designated by lot for God, which he is to make as a sin offering, while the goat designated by lot for Azazel shall be left standing alive before God, to make expiation with it, and to send it off into the wilderness for Azazel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, lechayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Can I have a hug, please?
And now, Simon, for the very first time, we call you to the Torah as a bar mitzvah in the presence of your family and this holy congregation. Yamod, 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 Habachur bar hamitzvah, Shimon ben Yirmiyahu ve'Malka lali ala Torah, Chazak.
You have to hold it. Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'hikriv Aharon et par hachatat, asher lo v'kiper. Bado uv'ad beito v'shachat et par hachatat asher lo v'lakach mel hamachta gachalei eish me'al hamizbeach milifnei Adonai umlo chofnav ketoret samim daka v'hevi mibit laparochet v'natan et haketoret al ha'esh lifnei Adonai, v'chisa anan ha'ketoret, et ha'kaporet asher al ha'edut v'lo yamut.
Aaron shall then offer his bull of sin offering to make expiation for himself and for his household. He shall slaughter his bull of sin offering, and he shall take a panful of glowing coals scooped from the altar before the Eternal, and 2 handfuls of finely ground aromatic incense, and bring this behind the curtain. He shall put the incense on the fire before God, so that the cloud from the incense screens the cover that is over the ark of the pact, lest he die.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
And so, with the Torah out before us, we take this opportunity to particularly bring close to us those in our community who are in need of healing of body, of spirit, and mind. Let us bring them close to us now. And as a community, let us share these words of healing. Misha Berach, which you can find in your packet a few pages after the Torah blessings, or right below the Torah blessings.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We rise once more as our Torah is dressed and return to the ark.
השלושה דברים, השלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. השלושה דברים, השלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. עץ חיים היא למחזיק עמך, ותומכך מאושר דרכיה, תחנום וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, קדש ימינו כקדם. Please be seated. And now we invite Simon to share his words of teaching.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Throughout my whole life, anytime I've seen a person who needs help, whatever problem it may be, I've always put in my full effort to help any way I can, whether it be helping someone with the groceries or volunteering and participating with charity. I always tend to strive to help. Helping is the right thing to do as a part of our community and as a part of the larger community. This community of helping is a great way for all of us to connect in a positive environment while creating a better society. As a person, I feel like it is our job to assist others in need of help. This message of helping goes way back in Judaism, which I discovered while reading one of my Torah portions, Kirushim, which talks about how to not stand idly by if your neighbor's life is in danger. In a situation where one of us helps a person in need, we should think about how the other person can benefit from our acts of kindness rather than how we personally feel about helping them. Even little acts of kindness can make a huge impact on someone's life. I'm thankful that I have the opportunities and resources to be able to help others just as I did for my Mitzvah project at White Pony Express. Helping others is a gift we should all consider a goal in our lives. We should realize how lucky we are for the things we have like health, housing, food, clothes, finances, and education. In the other Torah portion that I'm reading, Achrei Mot, the story describes the rituals needed by Aaron after his two sons die for betraying the Holy of Holies rituals. One of the rituals was that all of the Israelite people should put their sins on one goat, now used as a scapegoat, which would be released into the desert. An example of a scapegoat in our daily lives is when we try to get away from our hard work and responsibilities. We can blame teachers for our grades when we really just don't have a good work ethic. Or if we blame our boss for not being clear about our tasks when we are the ones being disorganized. A worldwide historical example of a scapegoat was when Hitler and his Nazi companions used the Jews as scapegoats for their problems. They could not deal with the problems of their loss in World War I, so they blamed all of these problems on the Jews. Clearly, using scapegoats can have very horrific and rough consequences on others and ourselves. We need to have the confidence, strength, and self-awareness to be able to own up to our own mistakes and responsibilities. Both of my Torah portions together show that we should all be equal and help others, no matter what their circumstance may be. Your gender, sexual orientation, skin color, religion, or economic status should not influence how we think of each other. We all deserve to be treated equally because we're all human, and it is only fair that we all have economic, social, and racial justice. As people, we shouldn't be putting each other down or blame certain people for our problems. We should be lifting each other up to spread happiness throughout the world for everyone. We all need to be thankful for what we have. This stimulated something inside my heart to make me want to help others who aren't as lucky as I am. Once they receive the help that they need, this can cause a ripple effect. Instead of standing idly by without helping, we need to be a good person to ourselves, others, and our community by becoming a kind and caring person. My challenge for you is to be appreciative of what you have and go help others in need. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Simon, you have done so much today here at this service, and you've really demonstrated your proficiency and your knowledge and your sense of understanding of those important things of who we are as a Jewish people. Leading prayer, understanding what it means to be a community, teaching from Torah, which is at the core of who we are as a Jewish people. But you have taken on also a mitzvah project, the opportunity to really demonstrate that you can make a difference in the world, even at your young age. You can engage in tikkun olam, what we call repairing this broken world we live in. So in lieu of a traditional haftarah, Simon is going to share with us how he has taken on a mitzvah project for himself and for the betterment of others.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo Uv'Yisrael amo uv'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. For my mitzvah project, I volunteered at White Pony Express. At White Pony Express, they bring in fresh and healthy donated food from many local grocery stores. Then they deliver this food to people who are food insecure or people who cannot leave their house. White Pony Express has provided more than 12 million fresh, high-quality meals to Contra Costa residents in need for the past 7 years. They are one of the largest food, rescue, and delivery programs in Northern California. On weekends, I went to White Pony Express to sort food into different boxes, which they delivered to homeless shelters, foster homes, schools, and to the elderly. When COVID started, I really wanted to be able to help people in need. I thought to myself how hard it would be for many to get fresh food during this difficult time, so I went out and gave it my best to make a change. Hunger is a very large issue that needs to be addressed worldwide and especially at this time during the pandemic. This is important because everyone is a part of our community and we need to support one another when times get hard. This is also a very big part of being Jewish. The phrase B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, shows that we are all holy and equal to one another. By helping those who are food insecure, we can show that we are all a cohesive whole as a community of joy and friendliness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'amim tzadik bechol hadarot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol davarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanevim ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdushav l'nucha lechavod u'tifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarchim otach yitbrach shimcha befi kol chai tamid leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Now, Simon, I don't know if I've ever taught you this blessing, but it goes like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Wow. You could probably translate that one for yourself. Wow, right? This was amazing, amazing, amazing. I am so proud of you. I know Cantor Korn is so proud of you. I know all of us at Temple Isaiah who helped you get to this point, who know you. I know your family is so proud of you and your whole community, and those online as well are so proud of you. Mazel tov, congratulations on this amazing day. Now, I know it's been said before, but I have to say it again, that this is not the first time we had something like this scheduled, right? Not the second time, but the third. Third time's the charm. But I say that because I just really want to acknowledge your perseverance, right? And your endurance and how even though we were supposed to do this about a year ago, you kept going. You didn't let it go. And that says a lot about who you are and who your family is as well. And we're just so glad that we get to celebrate with you on this day. I want to acknowledge too, of course, that we feel an absence right here and right now. Of course, we wish your grandmother was here to celebrate with you. And I know that she is here in so many different ways, certainly in the love that has been passed down from generation to generation. And certainly I know probably in how wise you are, how loving, how kind, how giving as well. And I know she would have been proud too. From the tablecloth that's here, evoking her, I know there are so many other ways just in being together that she is present with us here today. I want to speak a moment about what you shared with us about Achremot and Kirushim, and actually just a word about those portions. So as I mentioned earlier, sometimes these portions don't always fall together, but this particular week they do. And there's a tradition around the fact that sometimes when we read their names together, there could be a teaching in them. So Achremot means after the death, and Kirushim means holiness. And so I think, as I look at you here today, that there's a lot of meaning in putting these two portions together and reading their two names together. Because after death, after loss, after the loss of this past year that we've all felt in various ways, there's a question, can there be holiness again? Or maybe it's a statement. After everything that's happened in this past year, globally, communally, and personally as well, there can be holiness. And your standing here today gives us hope, right? It's that glimmer of light, right? That holiness and joy can be found again. And sometimes we know that when we go through the hardness, the difficulties of life, we have to search and make that holiness. And that's exactly what you did, right? When you shared your Mitzvah project with us, during the most difficult time for so many folks around the globe and right here in our community, you found a way to make holiness, right? In Kirushim, it doesn't just tell us, that we are inherently holy. Though B'Tselem Elohim, there is that inherent holiness in us, but we have to activate it, right? Kirushim teaches us be holy, act holy, and that's you. I think that's just who you are. But I love that you brought it out in our text so that you could teach all of us as well and role model for us how to be in the world. And I think also about the way that you shared about do not stand idly by, and the various ways in which the teachings of Kirushim can be brought to light, right? With so much that's broken in our world, it's not enough for us just to not do the wrong thing, right? We can't just be apathetic. In a world where there's racial injustice and folks are marginalized and people are in pain, you told us pay attention, right? And do not stand idly by. Show up, use your voice, act. And it's beautiful. I think you just standing here today, Achremot, after loss, yes, Kirushim, there is indeed holiness. I wish that there was a whole lot more of you in the world, right? There's a whole much more Simons in the world to bring that goodness to bear. So it's beautiful and it's amazing and you are amazing. But I want to challenge you today in the same way that you challenged all of us to lean more into that in the years to come. This is a beginning. You have given so much. I personally cannot wait to see what you are going to bring into the world next. And I know your family and this whole community cannot wait to see that as well. I think you are not just going to put a dent into this world, but you indeed can transform it and change it and make it a better place. Tikkun Olam, as the cantor shared, you indeed can repair the world. You have been a gift to so many in our community. And now Cantor Cord and I get the opportunity to share some gifts back with you. At the end of the service, I'll make sure to share some gifts on behalf of our community. But what we want to do right now is share one of the most ancient and sacred blessings that we have, Birkat HaKohanim, which is the priestly blessing. I want to invite your parents to join you up here on our bima as we share these holy words with you now.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God continue to bless you, and may God protect you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May the light of God's presence always shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha. Shalom.
May God's presence always be with you as you step forth into the world, changing our world, making our world a place of shalom, peace, and wholeness for you, for your family, for our entire world. And let us say,
Amen.
We turn now, friends, with this blessing, these blessings in the air all around us. We turn now to our concluding prayers, words of Elenu, which you can find towards the end of our prayer packet. I invite you for one more time to please rise.
Elenu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים. לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Let us remain standing as we turn to the last page of our prayer packet to words of Kaddish. These are words that are spoken every time we come together for prayer in a community. In particular, as we remember our loved ones, we bring to heart and mind now all of those who have passed. And we particularly name, in this community here, Simon, your grandmother, Myra Rabinovitz, and Suli Frofenstein as well. Let us share now these words of Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach rute v'yamlit malchute, v'chayachon v'yomachon v'chayed v'kol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'yizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach v'yalam u'lamei almaya, yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yifa'ar v'yitzoman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitpalal shemei kudusha v'richu, La'ela min kol verchata v'shirata, shushbachata v'nechamata, Tamiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma, huyat seh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
Ose shalom b'mroma, hu yaseh shalom. Alenu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen. Once again, we wish you a Mazal Tov. And Simon, I'm going to invite you and your parents and your brother just to step forward on our patio a little bit. We are going to shower you with words of congratulations, and I want especially those who are joining us from afar to be able to see all of you as we shower you with these words of Siman Tov, Mazal Tov, congratulations on this most wonderful day. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yahelanu, 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 Olecho Yisrael, Yahelanu, Yahelanu, Olecho Yisrael, Yahelanu, Yahelanu, Olecho Yisrael, Yahelanu, Yahelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov. Oh, thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Congratulations.
Yeah, unmute.
Oh, now it says mute.
Well,